Hey guys, it's Will here with another Will-Ditorial, and we're going to talk about my favorite subject, as you can see by the shirt I'm wearing, which is obviously Batman. And, I've been away for a little while, things have been kind of hectic, been busy, life kind of does that to you. But some big news on the Arkham Origins front. We have a gameplay trailer that was just released, we have a bunch of screenshots, and we got a playable demo at E3. Sony came out smelling like a rose, okay? Because they showed the PS4, and, they came out winners, baby. That's, just win, baby, just win, So they came out real well. But anyway, I've seen the Arkham Origins gameplay trailer, and oh my god! My faith in this game is now restored. I was very skeptical at first because it wasn't Rocksteady, but WB Studios in Montreal seems to know what they're doing. We got some dialogue from Black Mask, which is actually pretty good. And it starts off showing a nice shot of the city, and then you hear Black Mask say, "This city has a problem. Some freak that thinks he's a hero. But there's no problem that a little money can't fix." And so it's a pretty awesome trailer. I have to admit, we get to hear some Batman dialogue, and Roger Craig Smith's Batman voice is sort of a little young Kevin Conroy-ish. I'm not going to give him that much credit, but I mean, it does sound like a young Batman. It doesn't sound intimidating enough. And we got to hear a little bit of Troy Baker's Joker. He's apparently a big fan of Mark Hamill, so he definitely channels Hamill's inner energy, which I actually like. I actually don't have a problem with his Joker because I can actually hear in my brain Mark Hamill saying the lines and the dialogue in the game. Same with Kevin Conroy. And matter of fact, the fanboy in me this morning, when I was going to go work out with some friends, I was repeating Batman and Joker's dialogue as Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, especially the part where Batman's dangling one of Penguin's thugs over a building, and he says, "Where's Black Mask?" "I don't know. Put me down." And then, since he says put him down, Batman says, "If you insist," and he drops him, and the guy smacks off of the clock, and Batman pulls him back up, and demands more information from him and gets what he needs and then lets him go, and the guy crashes into a Christmas tree. And so, it's pretty epic. The trailer looks great. We get to see a shot of what Bane looks like. Bane looks more like his comic book counterpart. He looks brutal. He looks, I didn't see any Venom tubes in the trailer, but because Bane was wearing a big trench coat. But I would assume that Venom is there somewhere. So we got to see the Joker, we got to see Black Mask, we got to see Deadshot, we got to see Deathstroke again, and we got to see Bane. So that's 4 different characters that we got to see what they look like. And I have to say, I really am pretty impressed. It looks like it's going to be really, really good. So kudos to WB Montreal for respecting what Rocksteady did previously. Now, little talk about the demo. The demo was pretty extensive. I hope I managed to cover everything, but Eric Holmes, who's I believe the game designer or the game director for the game, he showed off the demo, and we get like a nice, cutscene, Black Mask saying, he's put a $50 million bounty. $50 million, that's a lot of money. I know that may not seem like a lot of money in this day and age, but $50 million to kill one guy, that's a lot of money, don't you think?
Indeed.
I mean, yes, Owen was impressed with the demo and the trailer as well.
Owen wishes he had a console so he can actually play the game.
Maybe I'll let him play it on mine, so
I gotta play WWE 12 first.
But no, the great thing about the demo was great. And the demo started on the southern island of Gotham, so we're on Gotham's south side basically, which I'm not really familiar with the southern side of the city all that well, but it's sort of very large, tall buildings, and very majestic. And you'll notice when you actually start playing the game that Batman's, the gliding, he can glide like he did in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. and he can also do the dive bomb like he did in Arkham City. And combat is also very similar. The free-flow combat system is also very similar to Arkham City, although I would think it would have probably new combat moves that weren't in the previous game. But it's nice that they have a sort of familiarity for people that have played these before, so you don't have to go through an all-new combat system with all new tutorials and all new buttons and all this stuff. So it's nice to have some familiarity. So as the demo went on, we saw, Batman take on a group of thugs and look badass while doing it. Then we got to one of the side missions. This was a side mission involving Anarchy, who has placed bombs at certain locations in Gotham, and you have to disarm them. And then you meet this new type of thug, which is called a martial artist thug, which they have the sort of same fighting style as Batman, meaning that when you play, as you know, for those of you that have played Asylum and City, Batman can strike thugs and counter thugs. Well, these guys, these martial artists, can counter Batman, but you as Batman can counter their counters. Yeah, try saying that 5 times fast, kids.
Wow.
So, see, Owen's impressed.
Counter their counters?
Yeah, he saw the awesomeness that we just actually finished watching the demo and the trailer, and we're all, abuzz with the awesomeness of this.
Indeed.
So and the martial arts thugs are actually, I think they're pretty cool because it's a new element that, you get to, it's sort of like, for anybody who's seen the animated series, it's sort of like Kill Die Ken, a little bit, with the episodes, Night of the Ninja and Day of the Samurai, where Bruce Wayne had to fight the one guy that was able to best him when he was training in the martial arts. So, of course, we never did figure out what happened to old Kill Die after Night of the Ninja, so he was never referenced in the animated series again. So, but it's kind of like that, except these guys look cooler than Kill Die does. But they fight a lot. So they fight like Batman does, and then we got to and so they went back to the main story, and then we got to see a scene with a helicopter, where a helicopter was telling Batman to stand down and surrender, and then the helicopter gets shot down. Well, you get to use your detective mode, which this is actually an extension of that. It's sort of like it's like detective mode, but it's sort of like a brand new mode, whereas before you could scan forensics and scan for evidence. This time you get to actually reconstruct actual crime scenes in real time, meaning the helicopter, you get to scan the pilot that was thrown out, was thrown out and his neck gets broken. You scan that and you figure out how that happened. Then you scan another part of the helicopter itself and reconstruct that. Then you scan how the how the rotor popped off, and you scan that, and then you find out that it was actually the rotor was shot with a high-powered rifle. Well, Batman grapples to a building and sees a SWAT officer, and he's a little confused because he's like, he says it doesn't make any sense. Why would a SWAT officer shoot at a police chopper? Well, it turns out that the SWAT officer was actually aiming at Batman, so he scans the SWAT officer and finds the trajectory of another path from another bullet, and it turns out that the bullet that killed the SWAT officer ricocheted off the wall, killed the officer, and hit the rotator, and hit the rotor on the helicopter, and it was all done by Deadshot. Yes, Deadshot, one of the assassins that Black Mask has hired to kill Batman on Christmas Eve. This whole game takes place on Christmas Eve, and I gotta say, from what I saw from the demo and the trailer, the snow effects look pretty cool. They look actually really awesome. I think this game is actually going to probably blow people away more than what maybe some people thought. I really do. It will definitely be like, a must-buy, and when I get it, I know I'll lock myself away. I'll forget about my studies for 2 weeks and lock myself away in a room and, in my room and just play it. So I'm not going to wait till Christmas because that's just asking too much. But, and so then we got to see, and then you could, if you wanted to, you could follow the trajectory and find, where Deadshot fired from. But for the purposes of the demo, they went to they continued on the path of the main story. So they went to the Royal Hotel where Black Mask is holed up, and we got to see a brand new gadget that Batman gets to use, which is called the Remote Claw. This thing is fucking awesome, okay? And I hope when Rocksteady makes Arkham 3, which, by the way, yes, we're getting Arkham 3 apparently in 2015, and Kevin Conroy will be back voicing Batman. Thank God. Sorry, I'm biased, but I have a right to be in this case. But anyway, this remote claw, Batman grapples to the gargoyle, and, you know, it allows you to fire projectiles, like, say, you're firing at a gargoyle. Well, one line will fire at the gargoyle that's ahead of you, and then another line will fire back to the gargoyle that you're on, and you can walk across the line like a tightrope, sort of similar to what the line launcher could do in Arkham City. However, it gets better. You can fire the remote claw at one thug, and then the other line will shoot out at another thug and bring them both together and sort of like have a meeting of the minds and hit both thugs' heads together. You can do this. You can string thugs up on gargoyles this way. You fire at a gargoyle, the other line fires at the thug and strings him up, which is, you know, pretty cool. It certainly saves time having to do an inverted takedown. And you can, you know, fire in the demo we saw that Owen and I saw. Batman fired the remote claw at a thug and also was aiming it at an explosive barrel. Claw fired, yanked the thug, yanked the barrel right at him, the barrel exploded, the thug gets knocked unconscious. Pretty fucking awesome. And then, you know, the objective was to clear the lobby. Batman clears the lobby and looks like a badass doing it, I have to admit. Even though this, according to Eric Holmes, this takes place roughly 2 years into Batman's career, so we're kind of like in year 2, not year 1. And for anybody that's followed the comics, year 1 was basically, you know, Batman being established, but the main villain in year 2 was known as the Reaper. So sort of like, kind of like a Mask of the Phantasm kind of villain, which was what the Mask of the Phantasm was actually based on when Bruce Timm and company did that villain. Anyway, getting off track here a little bit, but just throwing out some Batman history at you guys. I know this character well, believe me, so I know what I'm talking about, and Owen will agree with me.
Indeed.
But this is roughly 2 years into Batman's career. He's not well known by the establishment. You know, the criminals regard him as as sort of an urban myth, and, you know, they don't believe he exists, and the ones that do wish that they hadn't met him. And the police department basically regards him as a vigilante. He's an outlaw. Batman has no friends in the police department. Your relationship with Captain Gordon, yes, Captain Gordon, not Commissioner Gordon, but Captain Gordon is not well established yet. And throughout the game, you have, by doing these side missions, like there's a Most Wanted side mission that, you know, will allow you to see what other criminals besides Black Mask are doing in Arkham, or in Arkham Origins in Gotham City. And, you know, the scanning the crime scene in real time is called the case file. That's what case file mode. That's what that's called. But the Most Wanted is basically what I was saying about the anarchy with the bombs. That's what this particular mode is referred to as. So you've got that, and by solving these, you know, doing these side missions, these case file side missions, that will help you, you know, establish your relationship with the Gotham City Police Department. And one of the other cool things that Eric Holmes pointed out is you get sort of like a, I don't want to say it's like a point system, it's kind of like a grading system whenever you engage in combat. Like in the demo that Owen and I watched, you know, Batman took on a group of thugs, and again, looked like a badass doing it.
Indeed.
The guy that was playing the demo is obviously, he's very good, and he only got hit a couple times, but he had a 17 hit combo, which, you know, is pretty good. But anyway, it will assess, you know, how many enemies you took out, how much damage you took, your combo style variation, and add all of that up to help you unlock your next upgrade. So that will help you unlock upgrades throughout the game, meaning the better you do, the closer you get to getting your upgrade. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Indeed.
So, But anyway, back to the awesome of the demo. So Batman clears the lobby, goes into an elevator, and then we get to see Bane. Yes, we get a great cutscene with Bane entering an elevator below you, basically grabbing you and yanking you down and beating the living stuffing out of you. Yeah, remember, this is Batman, this is a raw Batman early in his career. So he hasn't dealt with Bane before tonight. And we get tossed into a room, and who do we see other than Mr. J? Yeah, I channeled my inner Harley Quinn and actually did that a little too well, and that kind of scares me a little bit. But anyway, I digress. Owen's moving the chair away. He's creeped out. Anyway, we get to see the Joker. And this, I have to admit, I'm very pleased with this version of the Joker. Troy Baker, who voiced Robin in Arkham City, who voiced Tim Drake, is voicing the Joker in this. And you can tell that Mark Hamill was a big influence because his performance is very Mark Hamill-ish. It sounds... if you close your eyes and you envision Mark Hamill saying this, it almost sounds like Mark Hamill, just sort of with a different pitch variation. But anyway, you're tossing in the room, Joker's tossing up a Christmas ornament, and he's like, "Nice of you to drop in." And then, Bane is like, choking you, and Joker's like, remember our deal? And Bane says, "He is mine, Pasoro," which I guess is Spanish for clown. I'm not really sure what that means, but anyway... So Bane gives Joker a minute with Batman. He tells him, you've got 1 minute. And Joker's like, "In my house, it's tradition to open up one present on Christmas Eve. Let's see, this one." And Joker has a bunch of, TNT boxes, each with, detonators that say, the Royal Hotel, which you're in. And they have different, sort of landmarks on them for different parts of the city. So the Joker presses down on the explosive box, and you see a great big explosion. Joker's laughing gleefully. Batman grabs him by the collar of his shirt, and I'm gonna do my best Kevin Conroy here. See if I can channel it. And in a rage, Batman yells, "How many lives did you just take?" "None, I think." That was merely a stocking stuffer. It was a construction site that was in my way." And then Batman, basically throws Joker to the floor. And, Joker he holds up another box and he's like, "But this one isn't." And you see him, just smile, and then the demo ends with the Joker laughing maniacally. So it was pretty awesome to see all this stuff. And then it's basically a replay of the gameplay trailer after that, and Eric Holmes answered some questions about it. And he mentioned one of the things I was watching it on my mom's iPad before I came over here to do this video for the channel. One of the things that Eric Holmes mentioned is the respect that the WB Montreal crew has for what Rocksteady did, and what Roger Craig Smith and Troy Baker are doing, how they have respect for what Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill did in the previous 2 games. And the interviewer said that Roger Craig Smith's Batman sounds like a young Kevin Conroy. And in a way it kind of does. I'm still not really pleased with it because to me it's just not intimidating enough. Because I could imagine Kevin Conroy saying some of this dialogue, and, I just think it would be that much more awesome if he, hearing him say it. But, again, since I grew up with the animated series, Mark Hamill's voice and Kevin Conroy's voices will always be the voices I hear in my head. And it's nice to know that Kevin Conroy will be in the Arkham, what is now being termed as Arkham 3 in 2015, and that he's already done the voice work for it, and he's been locked away for 9 to 10 months doing it, and he signed the non-disclosure agreement. So we will get Kevin Conroy in another Batman game, which is great, which I'm glad for, thank goodness, like I said earlier. But no, overall, I was very impressed with the demo and with the gameplay trailer, because I was a little skeptical about this game because I didn't think it would be as good. My faith has been restored. And here are the characters that we know. Obviously, we know Batman. Alfred's going to be in it. We didn't get any mention of Alfred in the demo, but apparently throughout the story, there's going to be a lot of friction between Batman and Alfred because Alfred wonders why, Bruce is spending all of his time and his money, going on this crazy crusade, and he just doesn't understand it. And so there's going to be a lot of points in the story where there's going to be great friction between those two, which I think is great because, Alfred's sort of like Bruce's surrogate father. He's the father figure that Bruce hasn't had. We know that Captain Gordon will be in the game. One of the tactical officers from the GCPD, a character named Brandon, who was in Batman Year One in the comic, will be making an appearance. We know that. As for the assassins, we have 3 that are confirmed. We know Deathstroke will be in it, Deadshot, and Bane. Those are the 3. The other possible assassin that I've heard is Lady Shiva, who, as we all know in Batman mythology, was one of the potential candidates for Jason Todd's mother in the A Death in the Family storyline, where Jason went to Ethiopia to find his real mother, and also the woman who Shiva was also the one who helped Bruce Wayne when he was retraining himself how to be Batman again after Bane broke his back and Bruce said he needed to regain his capacity for violence. Shiva's the person he went to help him, retrain himself how to be Batman again. So she's a possible assassin, which I have to say, Batman fighting Shiva, that hasn't happened in a video game yet. So that'll actually be pretty awesome. I hope they would get a good voice actress to play Lady Shiva. We know that the Joker is in the game. What role he plays, I have absolutely no idea. We know that Black Mask is the most, to quote Eric Holmes, powerful mob boss in the Eric Holmes sounds a bit like Sheamus. He looks a bit like Sheamus too, actually.
Just a tad.
Owen and I were commenting on that, and we were talking about the way he says powerful. I was half expecting him to say fella, but listen to me, fella. Yeah, that's my Sheamus impression. It sucks, but it's all right. But anyway, we know that Black Mask is the major mob boss. The Penguin is in the game. Don't know what role he plays, but my guess would be if Black Mask is the most prominent mob boss in Gotham when this game is during the setting of this game, and he has all of these resources, Penguin is sort of moving up through the ranks, would be my guess, since Penguin is technically a mob boss in Batman mythology now. My guess would be that Penguin is sort of, slowly working his way up towards the ranks to where Black Mask is. So, Black Mask is here, Penguin's probably, here. That would be my guess. So my guess is that Penguin's role is that he's going to try to, have a group of thugs that try to, take out Black Mask's thugs. Similar to kind of what the turf wars in that we saw in Arkham City, where, we had Joker's gang, Two-Face's gang, Penguin's gang, all fighting each other for, territory in the city to see who the alpha dog was going to be, basically. My guess would be that's kind of the same premise here, except it's just Penguin and Black Mask going at each other. Again, don't know what the Joker's role is going to be. Haven't seen any Joker thugs. My guess is this is before the Joker actually will have any, he'll probably have henchmen, but we haven't seen any, and my guess is we may not see any, since we don't know what the Joker's role is. Although, as usual, since it's the Joker, I would expect him to play a pretty prominent role, somehow. I'm sure we'll get more on that as we get closer to the launch date for the game. But anyway, my guess would be that Penguin and Black Mask are kind of feuding with each other, fighting for territory to see who's going to be top dog. So that will probably be some interesting conflict, because you'll have Black Mask's thugs, if that's the case, battling Penguin's thugs, and Penguin's thugs battling Black Mask's thugs, which again is similar to what happened in Arkham City with Two-Face's gang, Joker's gang, and Penguin's gang battling for territory in the city to like I said, see who was going to be the alpha male, who was going to be the baddest of the bad, and of course, we all know it ended up being me. But yeah, I do a pretty good Mark Hamill Joker impression. Not as good as Mark himself, but it's still pretty good. And I also do a pretty good Kevin Conroy too, as Batman, as you all have heard, and as Owen has heard many times. So that would be my guess as to how that how that might go. So we have Black Mask, the Joker, Bane, Deadshot, Deathstroke, the Penguin. That's 6 major villains that we have. 3 of those are assassins, and we don't even know who the other assassins are yet. But that's 6 major adversaries in, you know, Batman mythology. And we won't see Catwoman in this, I don't think. She's supposed to be appearing in the Blackgate game that is going to be available for mobile devices and the PS Vita. That is supposed to take place 3 months after the events of Arkham Origins, so it will not be a rehash of events that have already happened. It's a completely new chapter, but I'm not going to cover that because I'm only focused on the actual game itself, that being Arkham Origins. So probably won't see Catwoman. We know that Alfred's in the game. We know that we know that Jim Gordon's in the game. We know that the Gotham City Police Force, you know, Batman has no friends or no allies there. Don't know about Robin. Sir Owen had brought this up earlier when we were when I picked him up from you know, the wonderful world of Regal, which is a wonderful world. But anyway, we were discussing this. We were talking about the possibility of Robin, and I really don't think we're going to see Robin in this, given the fact that this is only 2 years into Batman's career. And Dick Grayson is probably established in this world, but my guess would be that he would probably still be performing in the Haley Brothers Circus at this point.
Oh yeah. And
we don't know if Batman has met Dick Grayson. I'm sure we'll get some references, we'll get some Easter eggs, because you know how these games are. We like to tie into the mythos a lot, so I'm sure there will be some Easter eggs and Robin will be referenced. But I don't see him being in this game, so that means no Nightwing. Obviously, we're not going to get Batgirl, because Barbara Gordon, at this point, is still a young girl. She's still, you know, a little girl. She's not even a full-grown woman yet, so at least not in 2 years into Batman's career. So we won't get Batgirl. Obviously, we're not going to get any Damian Wayne. Sorry for all you Damian Wayne fans out there, which I'm not really... I like Damian Wayne, but I wasn't really, you know, the biggest Damian Wayne advocate, but, you know. Don't know about Ra's al Ghul. My guess is probably not. Don't know about Talia. Again, probably not. But, like I said, we get six major characters. We get Black Mask, Deadshot, Deathstroke, Bane, the Joker, and Oswald Cobblepot, or the Penguin as we all know him to be. So that's 6 major characters, 3 of which are assassins, that Bane, Deadshot, and Deathstroke. Black Mask being the main adversary. We get the Joker, like I said, don't know what his role is, and we get the Penguin. Don't know what his role is, except for the speculation that I just gave you all just a few minutes ago. So that's... You know, that's 6 major characters, and there's probably still more to come that we don't know about. And we didn't get a whole lot of plot details because, you know, WB Studios Montreal obviously wants to keep tight-lipped on plot details, which makes sense. And we get Anarchy. That's another character that we do get, although I don't know a lot of Batman stories that have featured Anarchy. The one I do know is was in Nightfall after Bruce had his back broken by Bane. Jean-Paul Valley becomes Batman. And we do see Anarchy when Jean-Paul is taking down the Scarecrow. Which, by the way, the Scarecrow, according to some things that I've read, is slated to appear in the game. We will probably get a major reveal with that later. I don't know what his role will be, but there's a shot of this standee that was in the offices of WB Montreal, and Scarecrow was one of the villains that was on the standee. So he's, as far as we know, he is supposed to be in there. They didn't really talk much about Scarecrow. So I assume, and he looks exactly like he did in Arkham Asylum, so I would assume that he will be in the game and featured somehow. But anyway, like I was saying, we get it. We have Anarchy in there, and you know, Anarchy. One of the story arcs that I can remember is he was after Jean Paul had taken up the mantle of Batman after Bruce had his back broken. Jean Paul was taking down the Scarecrow, and Anarchy was trying to go after Batman because he believed Batman was the cause of everything that was wrong in Gotham City. He was blaming Batman for all of the, so-called super criminals that inhabit the city. And as a result, he kind of got caught in the conflict between Batman and the Scarecrow, and Jean Paul warned him, I could have crushed your head like an egg. If you ever get in my way again, I will. So, but Anarchy in this game is sort of trying to take down sort of corporate buildings. So, like he's placed bombs in various locations. This is one of the most wanted side missions I was talking about. And, he's very anti-political. He's very corporate. But he's, as Eric Holmes says, but in a way he's very pro-Batman. So he appreciates what Batman stands for, I suppose. But the way he goes about it is not exactly in the same way that Bruce would go about it. So, oh, and also, we have some DLC downloadable content exclusive for the PS3, for all you PS3 fans out there, of some early skins that will be debuting for the game. This is going to make some of you probably either cringe or very, very happy, as one of these did for Sir Owen. We, for the first time, if you all remember the Nightfall storyline and the costume that Jean Paul developed, altering the traditional Batman uniform, we will have Asbats, the Azrael Batman costume that he developed. And for all of you that are fans of the 1960s TV show,
oh yeah,
I'm going to just say this now, just to clear this up. I have a love-hate relationship with this show. I love it for what it was, but I hated it for the reputation it gave the character for so many years. But, and I'm going to do my best Adam West here. Let me take a swig of water so that I can do this properly. We're going to have, for the first time, the 1960s Batman costume as one of the skins available for DLC. I've seen the picture of it. It definitely looks a lot buffer than what Adam West did. Because, Adam West had he was a little staunchy in the stomach. This is a much more buff version. And I have to say, it actually does look pretty badass. Okay?
yes.
So, we will have the Adam West Batman skin, which means all of you that love the 60s TV show like Sir Owen does,
Oh yes.
and who remember the, Sir Owen checking on the storm that's apparently not heading our way. I don't know, he flashed it so fast I couldn't see. What does it say? Does it say it's heading our way?
I don't know, hold on.
He's checking, but I'll continue on with this. We are in apparently the severe, but we're not in the greatest risk, so that's good. Anyway, so for all of you fans of the 1960 show, all of you people that, loved that show and loved Adam West as Batman, you're going to get the DLC skin. It's only available for PS3. Sorry, Xbox 360 users. You guys suck. You get the short end of the stick again. Sucks to be you, doesn't it?
Oh boy.
Anyway, in true Adam West fashion, I find it only appropriate to say that while you're probably using this skin, you will have many fond memories, especially of Adam West yelling, "Hand me down the shark repellent bat spray! And, you know, Robin climbing down the bat ladder,
Kate billowing in the wind.
as Sir Owen likes to say.
Oh, yes.
Because he believes himself to be Robin.
Yes.
Which would make me Batman. So, you know, remember, old chum, good grammar is always essential. Yeah, I just gave a little 1960s drop there. Reference is what I meant to say. But anyway, so that skin will be available. And, you know, actually, it does look pretty cool. But I'll tell you this. If I'm going to use the 1960s Batman skin after I've beaten the game, and I'm doing another playthrough, I'm probably going to play the old TV theme song over and over and over again.
It's like playing Grand Theft Auto.
Just for nostalgic purposes. Again, I have a love-hate relationship with the TV show. I own the 1966 film on DVD. I still like it. I still watch it. That doesn't mean that I was the biggest fan of the old show. I love it for what it did. I hated it for the reputation it gave Batman for 20-some-odd years.
Hey.
Because every time someone wrote about Batman in print, it was always Pal, Zap, and Wham attached to the name. Thank God we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Hey, now.
No offense to Sir Owen. But anyway, so those are some of the skins that you'll be getting, which I think, you know, that's pretty cool. Might be more. I know with Arkham City we got the animated series skin, which I enjoy playing whenever I play Arkham City, you know, through New Game Plus. I play with the Arkham City, with the animated series skin. We had the 1970s skin in that game. We had Batman Year One, the Year One skin. We had the Dark Knight Returns skin, which I thought was interesting. We had a Sinestro Batman skin, which was very, very odd, but also very, very cool if you're a fan of Green Lantern, which, you know, I'm really not, but that's just me. And we also had the Batman Beyond skin, which, you know, was actually pretty cool to actually see Bruce wearing the Batman Beyond suit, which if you've read any of the New 52 in issue 20 of Batman, he actually does wear the suit to fight Clayface. So it could be some foreshadowing for, you know, future. Not really sure. But so I don't know what other skins we'll get. I would guess that we'll probably get some that we haven't had before. What I would really love for them to do, if they could do it, is when Bruce Timm and company did the revamp episodes of Batman the Animated Series, and they did the new Batman Adventures, and they completely redesigned all the characters. I would love to have that skin in Arkham Origins, where it's just basically all black, but it's kind of like it's got the pouch belt, and it's got the black on gray, and you've got the gray bodysuit, and you've got the just the bat emblem across the chest without the yellow around it, and so I would love to see that, but that's just for nostalgic purposes because I'm a fan of the animated series, as are many of you, I'm sure. But as for other skins, I don't really know what I would want to see. I'm sure we'll get more information on those. And also, another exclusive to PlayStation 3, if you pre-order, you will be able to play as Deadshot. Deathstroke, I'm sorry. I don't know if that's exclusive to PS3. My guess would be it's both for Xbox 360 and the PS3. But if you pre-order the game, which I'm going to do, Deathstroke is a downloadable content, and you can play as him during the challenge maps. So, which I think is also pretty cool. We don't know much about the challenge maps. I'm sure we'll learn more about those later as the game gets closer to dropping. But we did get a lot of really cool stuff that was revealed at the at E3. Eric Holmes talked about, you know, the voice actors and all that, and, you know, just the game is an open world game. It's not like, I wouldn't say it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto, because you do have different sections of the city that you have to explore, like you did with Arkham City. But my guess is that you know, it is a lot more open world, and, you know, and combat, for those of you that played Arkham City, it will feel very familiar because you have the free flow combat system in there. So you don't have to, like I said, learn, you know, a new system with new tutorials and new buttons, and obviously the combo moves will be different than what they were in Arkham City, but the fluidity of the combat system and the style very much mirrors Arkham City. And also, if for those of you that played Arkham City, you also had the bat signal sort of lighting your way to your objective, to where you were supposed to go. We have that in Arkham Origins, so you'll know where you can go to complete your objectives. That will be, shining in the sky, so you can get to where you need to go. So I'm really excited. Like I said, at first I was skeptical because I was like, oh, I'm not really sure how I feel about this. And but seeing the demo and seeing the gameplay trailer, my faith is restored. It really seems like WB Studios Montreal knows what they're doing. They're paying respect to what Rocksteady has done, and the voice actors, Roger Craig Smith and Troy Baker specifically, are paying respects to what Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill have done in the other two games. But like I said, don't worry, we're still getting Kevin Conroy in a Batman game again, so that's reason enough to be excited when Arkham 3 comes out, which I can't fucking wait for, because that means it's going to be on the PS4, and it's going to be next gen. Fuck yeah! Can't wait for that shit! So, anyway, the game, as I've said many times, it drops worldwide on October 25th, and I'm going to be one of the first people in line to get it. I will probably go directly after my classes that day and pick up my pre-ordered copy. And what will I do when I go home? I will do homework, and then the rest of the night, I don't care if I'm up till 5 a.m., 6 a.m., I will be playing Arkham Origins. Thank you very much. And I'm sure when I walk in the next day, everybody will look at me and be like, damn, Will, you look like hell. I'll be like, I was up all night playing Arkham Origins. Oh my god, it's fucking amazing. I'm not gonna lie, I probably jizzed in my pants a few times.
Jay Chandra Sekhar's voice, really?
But anyway, that will probably be my reaction, because that was my reaction when Arkham City came out and they were showing trailers for that. I was like, oh my god, I think I jizzed my pants. So, not literally, but figuratively. But anyway, just wanted to clear that up. But anyway, so the game, drops October 25th. It looks awesome. Owen, what do you think? It looks...
it sucks that I've got this PS2 and that's all I've got. And I don't have the collateral right now to buy even a PS3. The game looks amazing, and I really wish I could play it.
Well, like I said, maybe I'll bring mine over and we can play.
Bring in the WWE games too, because obviously I haven't played those either.
Yeah, that's a story for a different day. But no,
yes.
you were watching the trailer.
Yeah, it looks amazing. It does. Also, hopefully, it's not a hard gameplay, because I don't know much about the gameplay.
Well, I can help you with the learning curve in that. You'll just have
easy to pick up.
Yeah. Well, basically, with the way Asylum and because obviously I'll play Origins on. I'm a weenie. I'll play it on easy to start off with, okay? Because I want to make sure I know what I'm doing. So I would start you off on easy, and
yes.
Easy will tell you, when to counter,
tutorials,
when to strike. So and generally, when you are about to counter a foe, these wavy lines will appear over the thug's head, and that's when you'll know when you have to counter someone's. And then it'll say, the triangle icon will come up, and you press triangle and you counter. Okay. That's generally how it worked with Asylum and Arkham City, and it looks like it's going to be that way with Arkham Origins. Also, apparently all of the gadgets that were in City, the Batclaw, Sonic Batarang, the regular Batarang, smoke pellets, all of those things will apparently be utilized in the game. Also, spoiler alert! Anybody who remembers the grapnel boost from Arkham City, meaning that when you fired the grapnel and you pressed X, you could, sort of slingshot yourself, and you could cover, the city in a greater distance. In the demo, I clearly saw the grapnel boost. So at some point, you will get the grapnel boost upgrade. But like I said, it'll probably be a process to getting to the upgrade. However, it was nice to know that will be in there, so you're not just, having to glide around. Also, we'll have the, much like Arkham City did with the dive bomb, where you could dive down and then, kind of pull up and glide. with the using the controls, again, that's featured in Origins, so Batman can do the dive bomb like he did in Arkham City and pull up and glide, and, you know, we'll probably learn some new features, new combat skills and that kind of thing. Probably some new Predator aspects. One of the things that I saw with the that I think I already mentioned with the remote backclaw was the tightrope takedown. You couldn't do that in Arkham City with the line launcher. You could walk across the line that the launcher fired, but you couldn't do a takedown from it, to my knowledge. So you've got a tightrope takedown, which is pretty cool. So we'll probably also get some new, you know, stealth elements of gameplay. You still have detective vision, meaning that when you go into a room, you can still scan for, you know, thugs, and it will tell you how many are in the room, if they're armed, if they're unarmed. So you still have that. So all of those familiar elements are there, but this is, you know, a story taking place, as Eric Holmes described, roughly 2 years into Batman's career. He's very raw, he's very aggressive, sort of kind of like with James Bond with Casino Royale. This is sort of molding Batman into the character that we know him to be now. Kind of thing. You know, this is sort of Batman's Casino Royale, so to speak.
Just as long as it's not Quantum of Solace, we're fine.
No, which, by the way, Skyfall was a great film for all of you that haven't seen it. Just want to throw that out there. Probably one of the best Bond films in, you know, the last 5 or 10 years, and I've seen all of them, so I can say that.
Gee, I wonder who's going to be doing a Bond retrospective before the year is over.
I don't know. But anyway, bottom line is the game looks kick-ass. The graphics look great. You know, the demo that started on the South Island of Gotham, the buildings are very tall, very majestic. The snow, you know, because it's Christmas Eve, you got to remember, the snow effects look great. You know, Batman's costume, actually now seeing it in actual gameplay, I had some problems with it at first seeing pictures. You know, I really don't have any issues with it now, because it actually looked pretty cool in watching in the gameplay, because I was a little concerned at first because they said it was going to be like kind of like mesh kind of material, and it's just sort of, it's not the Kevlar, you know, armor that Batman develops later. It's sort of like mesh material that's put together. It didn't look, it actually looked pretty good.
Like Spider-Man.
Yeah, it actually looked pretty good. So that fear is kind of alleviated. Joker's costume is a little different from what it was in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. You know, there's no pinstripes. He's sort of wearing a long trench coat, but you know, it works. So I really do wish WB Studios Montreal all the great success with this. They seem like they know what they're doing. They have 2 thumbs up from me, and I don't throw praise lightly when it comes to Batman unless it's done right. They seem to know what they're doing. I think they're going to tell a fantastic story. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. It's going to be an amazing game. I can't wait to play it. October 25th. Can't get here fast enough. You know, it needs to hurry the fuck up and get here so that I can go and, you know, buy this.
Get to September 19th first.
Probably going to, you know, do my pre-order probably here within the next, you know, couple months so I can, you know, get the DLC content that'll come with it, because, and then I'll probably have to either wait for them to release it free or, you know, buy it, which I hate having to do that, but that's what you got to do if you want to, you know, get all the perks.
DLC is a cash cow.
If you want to get all the perks and get all the extras, you got to buy it. So, but the game looks awesome. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a great chapter in the Arkhamverse, and you know, this is the first chapter sort of in the Arkhamverse. So, don't really know, you know, and that's kind of interesting. Don't really know if we'll see Arkham Asylum in this game. Since the game is called Arkham Origins, I would think we would get some backstory to the origins of Arkham Asylum. I could be wrong, but I would think that Arkham Asylum will be referenced somewhere, somehow. I don't expect any references to Arkham City at all. Even though the layout of Arkham City, even though the layout of the city in this game is pretty much like the layout of Arkham City, I don't think we'll see Arkham Asylum in the game, but I'm sure we'll probably get a reference somewhere, somehow. That would be my guess. That's just pure speculation on my part, but that's what I would think. But anyway, it really looks like, you know, the game is going to be, you know, a success. And, you know, props to WB Studios Montreal. You guys have restored my faith. You obviously know what the hell you're doing. So, you know, you get major props from me. And I hope the game kicks every other game that comes out, you know, this fall. I hope it kicks all the other games' asses. I really do, because I think this is going to be the game that people are going to really want to go out and buy. I know I will, being a diehard Batman fan, and I know that anybody else that's a diehard Batman fan will do the exact same thing. So I think it's going to be great. I can't wait. Can't wait for it to come out. Can't wait to see what else they reveal, and, you know, trailers and screenshots and what other little hints that they'll give us about character or story, or, you know, because, you know, we might get some spoilers. You know, you never know what might crop up over the next few weeks or few months. So I encourage all of you, watch the gameplay trailer, watch the demo. You're not going to be disappointed. It's fucking awesome. Take my word for it. And when the game drops October 25th, take your ass to the nearest video game store, you know, GameStop, whatever, and buy it, because it's going to be great. And hopefully I will see all of you there. And until next time, with more Arkham Origins, I'll have some more for you guys, hopefully in the next few months, few weeks. You're probably sick of hearing me talk about Batman, but I really don't give a crap, because I do what I want. But, so, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have enjoyed listening to me talk about Arkham Origins. Hope you're just as excited about it as I am, because I'm starting to get really excited now. Like, before I was kind of a little excited. Now I'm really starting to get pumped for this, after seeing the demo and seeing the trailer. And I know some of you out there might be like, now, Will, don't get your hopes up. Just because the trailer is good and the demo is good doesn't mean the game will necessarily be good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true, but I have faith. So that's what, and having faith in Warner Brothers is a very tall task, but that's a story for another day, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll get to that later. But anyway, hope you all have enjoyed the video. Hope you all have enjoyed listening to me talk about Arkham Origins. It's going to be great. Hopefully I'm not wrong about that. Don't think I am, and I hope you guys will buy the game when it comes out, and see y'all next time.